Good afternoon, this is RFC Maki with one more flight report from the game Birds of Steel, played on Xbox 360. This game comes from a game on Friday night or Saturday, I don't remember which. Didn't have that many people playing, so there were not that many games that I got where I got to play against other players. I am currently working on trying to master the Focke-Wulf 190 F8. This plane is much clunkier, much slower, much heavier than the A5 that I've been flying for a while, and so I'm having to learn how to do this plane from scratch. First thing I learned is this plane desperately needs to gain altitude and desperately needs to get up some speed, and that takes a lot longer than it does in the A5. So in this game I immediately take off from the airstrip and head back towards my own base as quickly as possible. I played a couple games in this plane on the Kuban map, which is a much shorter map from end to end, and I found myself in desperate trouble right off the bat. This map, which is the Essen map, this one gives you a little bit more time and space to gain altitude and speed. So here I am slowly trying to gain altitude. You can see if you look at the speedometer there, I'm just over 200, and this plane really needs to be somewhere close to about 350 kilometers per hour in order to do fairly well. And once you get up that speed, the plane begins to get a bit more nimble. So there's my airfield again. I've circled around trying to keep my defenses safe. There was maybe one, maybe two other players. I think there were two other players in this game. I'm not entirely sure. Not anymore. Here I am trying to gain altitude. I had this, by the way, I had this game set up in primarily sim settings, although I did leave the custom map on, the game map on. And using that, I quickly detected that there was a plane headed down near the river coming towards me. So here I am trying to scan it. You can see a little bit, it's kind of a low silver plane. There it is just over the green grass and heading over an open area. This is a B-17 bomber. I barely had enough time to try to make a reverse on it, so I took a few what I thought would be lucky kind of shots. I'm trying to save my base. This guy clearly had designs of blowing at my base. Angled too much there. Missed the shot. Maybe got some hits there, but messed up. Trying not to overrun him. He's just dropped a bunch of bombs on my base there. And get caught by the anti-aircraft, the tail gunner fire. But did manage to remove the back half of the plane with my machine guns. At this point I've got smoke coming out the back of my plane, and my windshield is covered in oil. So I thought, well, I got a second or two before this guy is able to get back to his base, relaunch, and come back after me, so I wanted to get up as quickly as possible. I couldn't really fly securely with the plane like this, so I immediately cut the engines, dropped the flaps, and dropped the wheels. Since I'm towards the end of my airstrip and decided to go for an emergency landing, you can see the parts of my base that were blown up, and there you see the oil smoke being trailed. I switched to external view here so you can see better what it was I was doing. Trying to make the landing, but try to pull a quick emergency landing, and here you get a pretty big bounce just before the end of the airstrip. But I think between all that, it slowed me down enough where I was able to make the landing actually in surprisingly short amount of time. I don't know if this plane is easier to land than the A5, or I just got lucky and managed to get my energy down, but did manage to safely make a landing. Pointed the wrong way on my airstrip, mind you, but did manage to safely make a landing and repaired and refueled quickly. Now it seems to me if your crew can bother to repair you and refuel you and rearm you that quickly, they ought to be able to drag your stupid plane back to the end of the runway, but they don't. So here now I've got to drive the plane across the ground as quickly as possible, trying to avoid getting blown up by whatever bomber might be coming, and to reverse. So I'm getting a little bit better at it. I find that keeping the throttle something around 30% and using hard rudder helps me. Well, rudder and ailerons help me to reverse fairly quickly. There's the bottom half of a blown up tank of mine. You can see the smoking remains of a couple of my cannon emplacements, gun emplacements. There's one there that's still in pretty good condition, so they haven't taken out all of the defenses yet. But I had a long way to drive to go back to try to get back to where I could take off again. Again, I was trying to hurry in order to get reversed back so I could get up in the air and get some altitude before the other plane comes along, recognizing that this plane takes forever. Takes me forever to get off the ground. Here I've kind of overshot the runway, trying to drive a little bit. Remember that I'm flying only in cockpit view, not external view. I just got this view here, so it's easy to see what's going on. But I did manage to stop the plane, pull a pretty sharp turn here, and my cannons are shooting at something, so I took a quick shot hoping to catch whatever it was that was flying overhead. I don't think the enemy came in bombers. I'm not sure what they did, but I knew they came in bombers. I think they jumped into a fighter plane to get revenge on me. So here I am trying to give the guys in the tents a good wake-up call, a nice scare. Drag my plane back to the airstrip, put on my cloaking device there briefly, and manage to get back on the runway. There we go, back in the pilot view. Back in the runway. Get ready to take off. And get back in the air. I quit the game here as there was not much else happened here, but this is pretty exciting. Cheers, see you guys later.